Awesome. Hey, everybody. Thanks so much for joining today. We've got Ben Rowell with Ben Franklin in Arkansas. Ben, thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate your time. I know you're busy. So, why don't we just start out by telling us a little bit about yourself and how you got to where you are?
It's an interesting journey. It's probably one that most people would not have taken to get to where I am. In another life, I really had been in the trade since I was in high school. I was a welder first, and that was really what I did out of high school. And that led me into work in the sign industry. So I was a fabricator, a welder, and over time had moved into different roles within the companies that I was in, ultimately moving to management and in handling more of the people side of things and the management of processes. And over time, I had begun to make a transition out of where I grew up, which is Central Arkansas. And I'd been dating my wife. I knew we were going to get married. She lived in Northwest Arkansas. And so that's the home, if people don't know, of the largest retailer in the world and all of the other supporting actors that help keep that thing afloat. And for me, having been in the trades, been in the blue collar industry for a long time, really felt like it's a good time for me to transition out of it and go into the white collar world where I thought there was more upward mobility, where I thought that's where I wanted to be because of the support from my family and care of things. And it's a funny thing because that's what I thought I wanted. As it turns out, God had really been designing my life and the things I was good at to continue to work and operate inside of a blue collar world. So I immediately, when I did get into the white collar industry, I did not do well. I did not enjoy it. All of the things you hear about, like playing political games, and this felt like everything was just corporatized, where I had to be polished, I had to be buttoned up, I had to present in a certain way. There's a lot of requirements on me that were very counterintuitive to who I am personally and how I grew up. So it was very difficult for me to make that transition. Ended up seeing my way out of it. And in that time, had begun to reflect and think about what it is that I am good at and what are the things that I do have skills in. And as hard as I tried to run away from the blue collar industry, I just I just kept coming back to this idea that I really am designed and built for being in the trades, build rapport quickly with people that I work with, build trust, gain the confidence of the homes I'm in and the people I work with. There's just this a natural fit for me. And I realized maybe that's where I want to continue, but on my own terms. And so I began to explore different avenues for being in the trades. Specifically, I was looking at roofing, HVAC, electrical. And then the question came up of, okay, do I want to start something from scratch? Am I even able to start anything from scratch? Do I need to buy an existing business? Do I need to franchise? There's so many different things to think about. At the time, my now business partner and my best friend, Scott, he had come back and was living in Arkansas. And he said, Ben, you're really good with people and you're really good at the trades. What if we just explored some way to get people to, to help us facilitate and begin thinking about strategically what it is that we want to do together that we feel like would, one, be a long play that have some longevity to it, that scratches the itch that you need to have being autonomous and independent, but then have enough support for the things you don't know. Because what you don't know, you don't know. And in this industry, there's a lot. So he just basically gave me the permission to start pursuing franchising. And so we began to validate and had validated with some others and found that working with our franchise, Benjamin Franklin Plumbing, was the best of all the worlds that we need. And so we hitched our wagon. That would have been June of 2023. We started onboarding and went warp drive to get everything open and ended up opening October 16th of 2023. So we're coming up on our first 2 full years. And it was the first year is extremely hard, especially the first 4 to 6 months where you really are flying by the seat of your pants and you're building this thing. You're creating systems and operations. You're trying to scale. You're doing sales. You're also doing some of the plumbing work. You're also trying to hire and you're going through all these steps and it seems like there's no end in sight. Yeah. But through all the persistence and the hard work, the nice part is we ended up becoming pretty successful. And the metric that we were given by corporate was, hey, the expectation is you're going to get 1 or 2 trucks in the first year. You're going to make 500 to 600K if it's really a good year. and you're going to grind for 3. And that's just going to be part of it. During our time, in our first year that we opened, our first full year of being open, we actually had 5 plumbers. We had four vehicles on the road, and then ended up making a little over $1.1 million in revenue. And subsequently won Rookie of the Year for all the hard work that we put in. The hard work and the things that went into it. I'm here to tell you, like, you don't have to have the plumbing background. You need to be able to create systems, build good teams, and then have a really healthy, really strong culture, which is the back of everything that we do at Benjamin Franklin Plumbing.
I love that. I love it. It just goes to show that we are all designed for something. And no matter what direction life tends to take us, when we can fall back to where we are meant to be, then that's when things start happening. So it's just so cool to hear you say how much you tried to fight it, and then the success that you've seen going back to what you are really good at. And that's I think if you can also mix that skill, the God-given skill, with the service of the human service side of things, like helping people, genuinely caring about people, it's like the perfect match. So cool to hear that. Thank you for sharing.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we
So,
do.
yeah. So now we understand a little bit more about how you got where you are. You have how many techs now? How many trucks?
Yeah, so we're at 4, and we've got 5 plumbers, and so we're still rocking and rolling, going down the road. We're on pace to break our revenue record from last year, so that's exciting and that's fun. And so we haven't added more plumbers. What we've done is actually transition how we set up our plumbing. We're moving away from having all of our plumbing technicians sell and install all of their work. And what we're doing now is we have a plumbing advisor and an install team. And so plumbing advisor will go into the home, take care of the customer's needs, build rapport, trust, all the things that we need in order to bring someone in who's a very successful, very qualified installer to take care of the work to be done.
Amazing. Aside from digital marketing, what other efforts do you do for your success?
Yeah. Digital marketing far and away is the largest one. That's the one where we see the vast majority, over 80% of our leads come from our SEO, PPC, LSA. So all of our internet marketing, that's where we see a lot of it. We're also doing a lot of, I like to call by the way, I call myself a communitarian. It's a phrase I heard from one of my neighbors. He loved to get involved with every aspect of his community to make it better.
Yeah.
I just loved it. It's something that seems a little bit like agnostic to the like bipartisan system that we have. It's something completely different.
Yeah.
With all the things together combined that are good about both parties. And so I love that, because a big part of what we want to do at Ben Franklin Plumbing is we want to give back to our community, and we want to provide excellent service for people. And it doesn't matter the demographic. And to that end, we involve ourselves a lot in volunteer work too. And so we're known for our volunteerism. We're known for helping customers if there's something that happened and they're not able to afford the services and it's an emergency or an essential service. We work with them to find ways to do that at a low to no cost. And we don't expect anything in return. We just know it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
So we spend a lot of time just in our community helping and involved in that way. And so that's when we've built the network. That's really what we talk about a lot. We have radio ads too. Radio is really fun and new. And I love that because I get to go talk on the radio station about what's order and catch up on things. And so that's always a lot of fun. But then we're also doing home shows, which I've found that there's some really strong leads from those that we've gone and had. Now we've got long-standing relationships with a lot of our customers that we've met through our home shows. So there's a lot of that too. As we're growing and as we continue to build our business and build our brand, we're using cost per leads. So Angie's the one that we're using. And yeah, those are all the machine that keep the full.
Okay, amazing. And how would you describe your ideal customer, your ideal target? And how did you determine that?
It's actually really funny. We actually had a company that used AI to help us build an avatar based on click-through rates and all of the other metrics. I like to call it alchemy. I don't really know about marketing. It all just feels like we're going to take a lock of hair here and like some like frog in a pot and stir it around and wave a wand. And then all of a sudden we've got our marketing, and that's what it feels like. And they ended up literally like printing the perfect image of who our demographic is that seems to be the person that fits perfectly in our territory. And they said a 31-year-old woman who has kids and stays at home, while the husband works. It's literally what they said. It wasn't anything I did, but when they just targeted all of the people that they found that were going and visiting our site and calling us, this is what they found. So
Fascinating.
yeah, it's very interesting.
And
That would be the target audience, I suppose, that we reach out to and base a lot of what we are and how we brand. And that's ultimately probably the ideal customer for us. But if I think about it in my own head, it's anybody who wants quality plumbing work done at a pretty quick clip. We pride ourselves on being punctual. We are the punctual plumber. We show up within 24 hours, usually less, of when people call us to get emergency services taken care of. And we do good work. And the great news is, like, we stand behind our work. So if there is an issue, we're coming back out and we're going to take care of it. And it's not going to cost the customer a dime.
amazing. Have you done anything that wasn't successful and that you tried and just didn't fly and you stopped doing it?
We tried some direct mailers early on, and I did a bunch of door knocking. And it was before I got sophisticated with everything. So maybe had I been able to look at this a little differently and actually track with unique phone numbers and different things, it's possible that maybe it was more successful than I think, but it didn't feel like it had the ROI behind it that I was hopeful for or expecting. That one probably I'd say would be one of our bigger flops. So yeah, I haven't touched it since, and it makes me a little bit anxious to go.
Yeah, I can understand that. It is, I know it used to be something that was very hard to measure. And like you said, now there's different things. There's QR codes, there's tracking numbers, and there are different things in place to measure those efforts. But it is a little bit, all you can say is, yeah, our call volume has increased. I don't know for sure if that's why or so. Thankfully, there's a lot more measures in place that can track that kind of stuff. But thanks for sharing that experience
Oh,
because,
sure.
yeah, there's a lot of people who don't do traditional marketing. And it's good to know your experience in that so that other people can at least consider it and think about if it's going to be a good fit for them.
Yeah. Another one that we've really just completely chopped down is our cost per lead aggregators. There were so many out there. We tried all of them, and we're down to just one, and it does enough for us. But I think the ultimate goal is to get away from that entirely.
Okay. And in terms of course, Google reviews are always important. Do you do any special initiatives to get those Google reviews, or how do your technicians go about that? How does your office go about that?
Yeah, we do know that the speed and volume in which you acquire these Google reviews is going to be one of the most important things according to Google. And we're telling our technicians, hey, you've really got to focus in and hone in on, at the end of every call, you have to provide 5-star service because you need to ask for 5-star reviews. We give them tap cards and they can present those to the customer before they leave, ask them to tap, provide a review, use my name, please. My boss likes to see how good I'm doing. If I'm doing a good job based on these reviews, that would be what I'd love to see. And there's a lot of gamification, of course, we do here in the shop, but more importantly, just making sure that we're open and honest with the people about like how we are doing. Like, we want open and honest feedback. And if we don't get a 5-star review, yeah, we want to know why, and we want to run the delta on that, of course. But yeah, at this day and age, sometimes we get in a hurry or things happen and we just don't get that interaction with that customer, or they're offsite or something like that. So we don't get the review. So what we've got is another company, and they follow up behind us with a series of follow-up text messages. Hey,
Right.
thanks for being with us. They use AI, and they API to our CRM. And when they close the job, they get a notification. Hey, just wanted to know if you followed up on that 5-star review. Thanks for letting us serve you. So that helps catch the ones that maybe we wouldn't have caught previously had we left the home without asking for it.
Yeah, that's awesome. And what would you say is your most profitable service?
We have quite a good bit of offering that we feel is profitable. Water heaters are always great. Everybody talks about the water heater, I'm sure. But replacing water lines is a good one for us. And we do a lot of sewer replacements. And the thing that we've been getting back into recently has been cast in place lining. And so we have a UV light cast in place liner that repairs sewer pipes without having to dig them up in people's yard. You've also probably heard it as trenchless sewer repair.
Yep. Yeah.
So we do trenchless as well. And that's a huge plus for customers. We're not having to figure out landscaping. If it's under their house, we don't have to tear up their beautiful hardwood floors.
Yeah.
to them, it's a huge benefit just to be able to go in there, put the thing in place, make the repair, and never have to mess with anything and turn their house into a construction site.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's definitely popular these days.
Yeah.
It's a hot topic at all the events. Lastly, what advice would you give someone who is standing in your shoes just over 2 years ago?
Don't quit. You're going to go through so many peaks and valleys. It's just going to be difficult. You're going to have fits and starts. There may be times when money gets tight before it gets better. So conserve your cash. Find a good marketing partner like plumbing and HVAC SEO. I mean, well, I'll plug you guys in. I know you didn't tell me to, but when you find a trusted partner, stick with them and then don't quit. And whatever's working, double down on what's working. But whatever you do, just hear me say this, do not quit.
I love that.
Keep going.
Yeah. And that is, I think that's,
Spoon to break through on the other side.
yeah, that's words that people need to hear. And we get a lot of clients in that first stage. And it's just, I promise you, just stick with it. I promise you, just stick with it. But that's really hard. Like when you said you're facing financial stresses, you've got family, and you would have done this when your son was just a few months old.
Yeah.
He would, and not an easy time of life to be starting something new, but what a success story.
No, thank you. Yeah. So yeah, that'd be my first. And I'm sure I've got many things I could tell somebody how not to do things, but don't quit. You tell people.
I love that. Ben, thank you so much for being on this with us and for sharing your story and being so transparent about what's worked and hasn't worked. We really appreciate your time.
Yeah, my pleasure. Yeah, thanks.